About 6,000 babies are born with Down syndrome in this country every year. This condition can pose various challenges, both physically and intellectually. However, people who have Down syndrome can still live vibrant and productive lives thanks to the support of our next guests. Let's welcome Marie Myers and Sally Bunting from Gigi's Playhouse, Charleston. Ladies, it's great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So tell us a bit about Gigi's Playhouse. It's surprising that Charleston is now finally getting its own chapter. Tell us more about it.
Well, Gigi's Playhouse's mission is to change the way the world views Down syndrome. And the way they do this is a brick and mortar facility that offers free therapeutic programming, therapeutic-based educational and career development programming from prenatal diagnosis through adult.
And tell us a bit how it came to be, Sally.
Yeah, so it started in Chicago by Gigi, that's her nickname, and it started when she was 8 months old. So her mom started it when she was 8 months old, and it's just grown with her since that time. And now Gigi's Playhouse just actually celebrated 20 years of establishment, which is crazy awesome. And we're just very excited to be the next chapter here, and the first chapter in South Carolina.
The first chapter in South Carolina, and both of you are mothers to children who have Down syndrome. And let me ask you, Sally, when you found out that your child was going to be born with Down syndrome, just what were some of the thoughts that went through your mind?
I think, you know, there's such little information, updated information in regards to Down syndrome that, of course, my first thought was fear. Mm-hmm. You know, what is my child going to be able to do? And how can I make that possible? How can I open the doors for him? So I learned very early on, around 14 weeks gestation, that our child would have Down syndrome. And I think that diving in and learning more information about Down syndrome really helped me, and connecting with moms like Marie and everyone else that kind of brings that comfort level. And now we're providing this to even expand that lifestyle for our children and the opportunities.
That's wonderful. What's your son's name?
James.
James.
Yeah.
And what is your child's name?
Cameron Jean, and she goes by CJ.
CJ. But you had a little bit of experience with Down syndrome prior to your daughter being born.
Actually, I did not. I had a prenatal diagnosis also at 12 weeks. I knew nothing about Down syndrome. You know, that can be a blessing and a curse with that prenatal diagnosis. So I just dived into research and came very well prepared when she arrived.
Was it a bit of a learning curve, would you say?
It was. I think what shocked me the most was the amount of discrimination that people with Down syndrome face daily. Mm-hmm. It is always diagnosis ahead of ability.
Mm-hmm. And we're learning more and more that they're able to do so much, so as long as they are given that opportunity. And so what does Gigi's Playhouse endeavor to do? So this is no age limit, and how does it help their development?
So Gigi's Playhouse will basically fill the gaps and provide supplemental programming, because really kids with Down syndrome are not allowed to live up to their full potential. Because there is not a lot of inclusion in the Charleston area. And the hope is volunteers that come into the Playhouse, they get to see this, they get to experience it, they get to see how beautiful Down syndrome is, and then when they go out into the communities, they spread it, and that's what we like to call the Gigi's ripple effect, and that's how Gigi's changes the way the world views Down syndrome.
Yeah. And how about for you, Sally?
I think that it's, again, getting out in the community. I think it's spreading the word. I think it's also just changing this perspective. You know, again, you go back to my prenatal diagnosis, and it was more of focused on what my child wouldn't do. Mm-hmm. And I think that from our perspective, especially working with Gigi's Playhouse, it's what they can do, and allowing that opportunity to be present at all times.
Sure.
So,
for people who want more information, where should they go?
gigisplayhouse.org/Charleston.
Perfect. And where's it going to be located?
So we don't have a physical location yet. That's what we're working towards right now.
Okay.
And we're doing really well fundraising, and that actually, I'll let Marie talk about our big event coming up.
Yes, we do have an event coming up, don't we?
Well, the hope is for the Playhouse to be located in North Charleston, so it can be accessible for everyone in the greater Charleston area. But we do have our big event, the Gigi Fit Acceptance Challenge, which over 60 operating and startup playhouses throughout the United States and Mexico will be hosting an event over the next 3 months.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. So it's a 5K run walk happening April 22nd. This is all to raise money for Gigi's Playhouse. Ladies, I want to thank you so much for championing this effort.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. We're back after this.